And then you got a lot of people who just making money off the demise and the pain of this family. You know what I mean? Because they know. You know what I mean? And then, like, the other stuff that these other lames and his brother and all them is doing, it's all ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, these other lames and his brother and all them is doing, it's all ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, and his brother and all them is doing, it's all ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like,
at this point in the game, I don't even understand why Big U does interviews anymore. Every time this man seemed to open his mouth, he seemed to put his foot right up in there. And today, we about to go over a reaction to Big U calling Black Sam a lame and saying that Nipsey Hussle and Black Sam aren't his equal and never will be his equal. And we're gonna dissect this video. So in this interview right here, it was Willie D from the Ghetto Boys. He been dropping like these little 5-minute videos. He ain't dropped the full interview of Big U yet, but this one that he dropped today or yesterday, where it's called Big U Addresses Lames Who Think he has something to do with Nipsey Hussle's murder, right? The title right there. And as soon as you click it, he's calling Black Sam a lame immediately. And it goes over a lot of people's eyes. But the internet, though, the internet ain't missing none of this shit. And I surely ain't going to miss it neither. And the internet is lighting Big U's ass on fire in these comments right here, man. He getting flamed. He getting Kentucky Fried Chickened in this motherfucker right here for just opening his mouth and making the comments that he said. A quick look at the comments real quick. We'll see there's not one good comment for Big U here. You know, they call him Judas. The conflict was on your end, not Nips. You felt like he wasn't your equal, was being looked up to and becoming just as powerful as you. Hating on Nip, diabolical work. Calling Sam a liar about his brother is far-fetched. Karma is a bitch, and if this dude had anything to do with it, he will get his. Wow, him saying Nip or his brother wasn't equal is diabolical. Keep telling on yourself. Useless, they said. Body language don't lie. Streets teach that. Willie D, see through all the BS, he's low-key keeping the peace. I wonder about that one. Black Sam never mentioned Big U's name publicly. Nah, but who else could it really be, right? Damn, you were so close, but didn't go to his funeral? Yeah, that makes sense. He hasn't shown no kind of sadness. That's real, though. He don't sound convincing. Pete Willie D had to check Big U a little bit. I ain't see all that. They did have beef, Nip said before he passed. But I'm not going to be the judge and jury. Y'all going to be the judge and jury. We're going to get into this content. I'm going to react like I always do. And y'all let me know what y'all think down in them comments. Let's get to it.
and then you got a lot of people who just making money off the demise and the pain of this family. You know what I mean? Because they know. You know what I mean? And then, like, the other stuff that these other lanes and his brother and all them is doing, it's all ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, if I had a problem with somebody, you would know it. It would be loud. You know what I mean? Or it would be done in a way that it's supposed to be done, and I didn't have no problem with my kid. He loved me and I loved him. You know what I mean? He looked for me. I didn't come back into music. I was doing sports. I'm making millionaires right now to this day, still. I still manage people. What would my conflict be with somebody? You know what I mean? Like, even to this day, I don't got no conflict with nobody but these lames that, you know, keep my name and keep their bull crap in the air, which is a natural conflict. But it was painful to me, though, because it was a dark time to even see that you can't really mourn the loss of somebody who was dear to you. You know what I mean? Like, me and this kid was together from him being 19 up until when he passed.
Yeah, and I know that.
So off the dribble, without no question, right? The first thing he says is Nipsey Hussle is his kid, right? His kid, right? And he said Nipsey Hussle seeked him out, though. Nipsey Hussle came to him and said, I need your help. You need to come help me, Big U. But if Nipsey Hussle is your kid and you so close to him, why you ain't attend the funeral, Big U? What happened there? And Nip's music spoke for himself, right? Like, and you say, why wouldn't you have no conflict with him? We know you had the conflict with his brother and his dad right there that runs deep right there. I mean, if an incident transpires like that with my dad and my brother, believe me, even though I might go along to get along to function with you to a degree, there's always that piece inside of me that remembers that shit. Now, I'm not saying that's how Nipsey operated. I'm just saying on my pretense. But ultimately, right there, he said Nip seeked him out. I don't know how legit, maybe in the earlier career, but we talking a little further down the road, right? He talking a little bit further down the road. So just as soon as he opens this up, that shit just don't set right with me.
First and foremost, I know that had to be hard too. That that he passed before y'all could really patch things up.
No, it was patched up. This where you feeling it.
So y'all actually patched it all the way up?
Yes, bro. This you not realizing. You caught up in the same thing they caught up in.
No, I ain't caught up in the same.
Well, let me give it to you. Let me give you the timeline.
Now look at Willie D face right there. Willie D face. Willie D stuck. Willie D don't even believe that shit right there. Willie D like, you patched it up, really? And he talking about you caught up in the same thing. Willie D looking at it. Look at Willie D face though. Look at Willie D face. That shit right there says it all. So if y'all patched it up though, right? Why in the interview with Black Sam does he say that there was powers that be, right? That were trying to do something with Khaled. They was trying to extort him basically, right? Without saying it. So who else could that be? Who else is up there like that? Who else need to check in when they come to LA other than check in with Big U? Who else? Y'all let me know in the comments.
Catch what you're saying.
Let me give you the timeline.
Yeah. Okay.
That happened, what, 2011? No, it happened 2011, 2012. You gotta understand, I was on the boat with him on his videos. He flew me to New York. We was on a boat. We did videos. We ate. He came to my house. He was at my son's games. He was promoting my son. I promoted his album. If you go to my Instagram, I promoted his album in these lanes that never promote his album. I'm the one, this album he dropped, I'm the one promoting his album. He was
okay, because you did say that he called you and asked you to come back when you was when you was already involved with the sports scene.
Yes, and I'm managing Ving Rings. Yes, that's what people fail to get. We didn't have nothing to patch up.
Yeah.
And you got to understand, it wasn't really no beef with me and him. It was more other people.
Right.
You could only beef with a man over money, women, and ideology. We had none of those conflicts. You understand?
So y'all tell me, with Nipsey Hussle's career as we know it, being so far down the road, what would he need Big U to come back in the picture for though? Like, Nipsey Hussle, his motion, his direction was already moving. What would he need Big U? Y'all let me know. I was incarcerated 03 all the way up to motherfucking 2014. So a lot of that shit, I had to re-catch up on being out here now, right? So let me know in them comments, why would Nip need him to get away from the entertainment and come back to music? Why would he need that though? Nip, that motherfucking Crenshaw mixtape, like why would you even, why? I don't get it.
You know what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna go into the whole story of what that was about, but that was over with.
Gotcha.
You ain't really gonna be able to beef for nobody in their neighborhood without there being consistent conflict. You understand what I'm saying? And Nip is in fact a baby. He wasn't my equal. Him nor his brother was my equal at that time or any other time. You know what I'm saying? So
Not my equal then or any other time, him or his brother. So before we unpack that piece of the equation, let's rewind to just a little bit more what he said before that. He talking about the fight that he had with Black Sam and his dad, right? And he said that conflict was taken care of, blase. Like I said earlier, if that kind of shit transpires, motherfucker, at least for me, I ain't never gonna forgive and forget. I might forgive to a degree, but I'll never forget it though. That's just always, you gonna leave a residue on my kindness, you feel me? But looking at this shit from the sidelines, he says, there's conflict. How do you move on 11 years without the conflict? This is where I feel like he might have been in Nipsey Hussle's pocket, right? Nip might have been kicking him in or keeping him in the picture just on the pretense, just on general principle for what he need to do, because he got to operate, and this is his neighborhood and his hood to be at that. But no matter what, his own hood let him die though. They let the trophy get knocked down. But then he gets into the part where he's like, Nipsey Hussle is a baby to me, him or his brother. And I get from a gang dynamic, right? He would never be up on the totem pole as an OG to you because you've been around for so long. I can get that. That's a subjective opinion, right? That's his opinion on that. We see that Nipsey Hussle's legacy and who Nip was overshadows Big U and all the shit he's ever done or did. The only reason we even invested in this shit right here is because of Nipsey Hussle. Motherfuckers, at least in my opinion, I don't see Big U's name making major news or making hella views without Nipsey Hussle being attached. Y'all let me know in the comments if y'all agree or not. But like Nip's legacy is overshadowing everything Big U has ever done in his gangbanging career, at least in my opinion, right? He's always gonna be a legend in the streets and have that name, but I mean, we in this time, right, 2025, where we seeing OGs just fall from grace. We done seen all the legendary motherfuckers, R. Kelly, Diddy's, motherfucking, we seen all of them come down and fall from grace terribly. And here's Big U on this interview, looking like he's stumbling and fumbling with some of the shit that he be saying with this shit right here, because it's not a good look to even address it in this manner right here, even if you're talking about the gang dynamic, because Nip and what he's done in his career and his legacy, I think it overshadows Big U's. But y'all let me know what y'all think. You know what I mean? Not my equal.
He had his own little squad and we was together, bro. We was, like I said, look at the videos. And it's crazy how if there is a disjustice to me in that situation, it's the fact that people obliviate the timeline and they make me and his conflict be yesterday. Like there was no conflict. You know what I mean? Like realistically, that's like you and Jay having a problem. You ain't gonna have no problem and be within a block of each other every single day for 11 years.
Right. Some got to give.
Some got to give.
Yeah.
My man got ready to do music. We was doing all kind of shit. He signed with Atlantic Record. He called me. I'm going to say it again. He said, Unc, let's go. Let's do it. I asked him, you know what I mean? Like, how it's going to go. We talked about all that. Boom. He said, let's go. We went to New York. We shot the video. I'm on the boat with the man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm in the videos.
Man, I'm really.
Now, he made some valid points there, right? That he called him out, had him out on the boat, rapped about him, the whole nine and shit. But like, this is where the scenario of going along to get along in Nip's favor, I feel like, comes into play. Nip was going along to get along to a degree, right? He ain't forgot about the shit that transpired with his dad and his brother, right? But yet, at the same token, when I listen to this shit right here, I think the reason why everybody gets the timelines conflicted is because Big U got on this motherfucker and did that justice for Nip laugh, right? When motherfuckers said justice for Nip, what did Big U do? They laughed at that shit and chunked up their hood. He don't address that. Willie D ain't bring that piece up. Willie D, why you ain't bring that piece of the equation up? Like, you should have asked him about that justice for Nip, though, Willie D. That's why motherfuckers had the timeline conflicted, because if y'all was so cool and y'all patched shit up, like, what the fuck was up with that justice for Nip?
Yeah, my mama, bro, you would have
Justice for Nip.
Or your boy would have been there like, yeah, on my mama, bro, I swear to God, everybody that was showing this shit.
You did. You did.
So this next part of this interview is titled Big U Reveals Details About Nipsey Hussle's Unaliving that are people are unaware of. We're going to peep that out.
Yeah, and that was also the rumor that, perhaps you were involved because Nip brought Khaled to the hood or something like that.
Which is so funny. When Khaled was my friend, and
that didn't make sense to me.
It still don't make sense.
That made absolutely no sense to me. And
y'all tell me, just the way that started off, the way that he say, Khaled, that was my friend. That shit just sound funny to me. The way he say that, the tone of voice and shit, like, that was my friend. So that means when you say that was, that's past tense. So if that was your friend, what you trying to say he ain't now? We just seen y'all linking. You know, we watched all that shit a few months ago, right? But we know that Khaled had issues when he got to the 60s, right? From Black Sam's interview. And once again, somebody was trying to intervene and pack them pockets to a degree. And who else could that have to be other than somebody that they got to check in with, right? And who do people motherfuckers check in with? They check in with Big U. A motherfucker will tell on themselves, though, right? A motherfucker will tell on themselves, hands motherfucking down. So, you know, looking at this shit right here, when he says that, it's like, that was my friend. Y'all let me know.
But also, something else that didn't make sense to me, the hit didn't make sense to me, because who takes this girl on a hit? And who goes, if you're going to go do a hit, if it is a hit, if you're going to go do a hit, who goes to confront the guy? He already know, I'm finna do this dude. Who goes to confront the guy, leave, and then come back?
No, you got it wrong. He never left.
Where he went, they say he went to the car or something.
No, sir. See, and that's where people get it messed up, and that's where it get convoluted. They had words.
Right.
He went into Master Burgers and ordered a burger. After they had words.
Okay.
And sat in there on camera, walking around. And you can see the derangeness in his head. He sat in there with his shirt off. Then walked out. So he didn't leave like they make you think. He had words with Nip. Left, changed his clothes, and came back. That's all untrue and unfactual. I didn't even know the facts of it till Street Gangs. Alonzo did it, and the brother had words with Nip from one.
All right, hold up. You mean to tell me Big U being the OG from the hood, you mean to tell me you got your motherfucking facts from Alex Alonzo over at Street TV? Get the fuck out of here. For y'all don't know, me and Alex done struck my channel before, and I had a good conversation with the brother, right? And I thought the man had integrity, but he never took the strike off like he told me he was. So in my book, I ding him down a little bit level right here. And I know during the time that as Black Sam interview got pushed out here, there was a real big push to clear Big U's name right there. And now, I don't know if Big U's telling on himself right here, but to bring up Alex Alonzo as the motherfucker that got the facts, and that's where you got your facts from, when this is your neighborhood and it's been for so long, and you mean to tell me a motherfucker from Street TV gave you the information? Like, come on now. Y'all, am I tripping? Let me know in them comments, am I tripping? And I'm gonna rewind a little bit, right? So Willie D said, what kind of person takes their girl on a hit, right? A motherfucker that don't got no car, right? We know this motherfucker, Eric Holder, didn't have no car, right? And in my opinion, I feel like Eric Holder, he stopped before there, undisclosed location, motherfucking all kind of incidents prior to this, right? It seemed like he already had some funk with the hood already, right? But I feel like he pulled up and was gonna do what he was gonna do, right? But he realized there was a gang of motherfuckers at that shop and that location at that time. And that's when he led to him just going up there, filling out the area, filling out what it's like. And that's when the conversation of him and Nip, of where they were both calling each other a snitch, because old girl that was in the car with Eric Holder said, right? She said off the dribble that they was calling each other snitch. So however that translates, we don't know. That's just, a piece of the equation that doesn't really get too much eye. But I feel like, for him to go back into that Master Burger, you watch the Master Burger footage, it's a coin toss if you really think he's walking around heavy-headed. You know what I mean? Like, it seems like he's thinking and he's just waiting on his food to a degree. You can look at it from either side. But what he does, though, is he leaves Master Burger. We all know he does. Old girl tells him no drive-bys in the car. They drive around, motherfucking park. That's when he gets out with the red shirt, and he comes back and he does what he does, right? So it's premeditated, no motherfucking matter what, no matter how you look. It wasn't like they just had some words, Nip called him a snitch without no paperwork. He got angry and killed the man. Nah, that ain't it. If they're watching that video, there was no aggression coming from Nip or him either way. So whoever was the snitch conversation that we always talk about, there was no aggression. We don't see no aggression, but it's funny that, that here Big U is, right? He trying to clean this shit up and he using Alex Alonzo of all fucking people. Alex Alonzo.
I understand it. Because my big homeboy, Cousin Kerry, was there. He's the one who got shot in the ass. He's one of the ones that got shot. And dude left. Stopped, go to order some food or had whatever he had did, sat in there, and then left and went and did what he did. Left and changed, went to the car and came back and shot bro. And you can see something was trailing in the dude's head. But they omit that to make people think that it was a hit. It sounds better. The man actually sat there. So so now you got to add that in there. Who gonna do a hit? You gonna have words, go order you a burger or some fries, whatever you order, and then.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Nobody's arguing that's coming to do a hit. Ain't nobody, you're not arguing with nobody. If you coming to do something, that's what you're going to do.
Right.
And then you out. You know, so yeah, that didn't make a lot of sense to me either, man. But you know, I wanted to at least
see Willie D talking about this like this some kind of like mob hit, like somebody's just gonna show up and knock him down. But gotta remember who's doing the job, right? This is a motherfucker named Shitty Cuz, right? This motherfucker Screw he's not wrapped too tightly. So this is a motherfucking gang member. He shows up, flag on his neck, you know, shirt off. That's an aggressive nature by itself right there. So he show up and he see there's a gang of motherfuckers in the parking lot. And Big U references Cousin Kerry really ain't helping him neither, because we know Cousin Kerry had all kind of lies and deceit and cracks in his story across the board. Now Big U calling him, yo, big homie, when we know you was behind him and everything he was saying on the Vlad interviews and shit right here, this shit just don't look good. That, in my opinion, that shit just don't look good for Big U.
I want to speak on that because that is it's still, that's fresh today. People are still saying, having these same conversations today.
But that goes to show you that no matter what you do in life, somebody always got to have a bad guy. But all of that is shot in the ass when the man said on the stand, or the man said through his lawyer why he did what he did.
Did you know him?
Not at all.
Yeah. And
you got to understand, the 60s is a very big unit. Like I said, 4,000 or 5,000 dudes coming and going. He wasn't in my age bracket, and I wasn't in entertainment and music. That was, in fact, they kid. You know, you got your team. You know, like, you know Jay, but your boys ain't gonna know Jay. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, it may be your top dudes who fuck with you every single day who know Jay. But your boy's not gonna know Jay.
Right.
Because you got your own team. Nip had his own team. Dude was a part of Nip team.
One thing about this interview, there's a lot of deflection, right? Deflecting it. We know that from Black Sam's interview and from everybody else that Eric Holder wasn't part of his team, though. It wasn't part of Nip's team by no motherfucking means. But let Big U tell it, though. This was they baby. That's what he just said, right? It was his baby. But at the same token, you know, you sit back and you watch this shit and analyze this shit and look at it, you know, motherfucker could be doing the most by analyzing, making these videos for show. I get where some of y'all would be coming from. But looking at it, like, instinctually, it don't register right on my note. You feel me? Like, you mean to tell me you gonna tell the lie to the world on that note right there that this was they people, it's not they people, even though he might have been in a younger demographic, right? But he wasn't in on All Money In or none of that type of shit, none of that shit. So, you know, ugly look for that shit. And these ain't facts that people don't know already. We already realize, everybody's done seen this tape. And he's not revealing nothing that we didn't recognize. The whole world recognized this shit right here. This is nothing new in this interview, in my humblest of opinion, but it's worded like it is for clicks and views. I get that.
You understand what I'm saying? So it wouldn't have been nobody for me to know. We wouldn't have never had a setting where we'd have been talking, we'd have been, you know what I mean? And believe me, like I say, this case was investigated by the highest level of the branch. That man got a letter from the president.
Well, I know for a fact if they could get you, they'd get you.
And
if they thought for a second that you had something to do with it and they could prove it, you out of here.
They wouldn't even.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's crazy because you do the family a disjustice. And you got a lot of people that do the family a disjustice when you keep this bull crap alive, you know, and not focus on what really happened.
Now that part I could rock with, right? If they knew Big U had a hand in it, they lock his ass up. Only if he was instrumental into helping this take place through the LAPD, right? Because he just said that this was investigated by the LAPD, the highest forms. The man got on the stand and said he did it for the reason he did it. But let's not forget, hypothetically speaking right here, knowing that Big U works for the GRID program, the Development Options, which is partnered with the LAPD to a degree, right? Now, if you was instrumental in that in some way, they're gonna give you all kind of leniency. They ain't finna lock you up behind that shit. I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm playing devil's advocate here because either way is possible, right? Because if he's not, of course, they would have been locked his ass up. But at the same token, we supposed to believe the LAPD who's knocked off powerful figures and all kinds of shit for many years. And we know the ongoing issues with the LAPD and Nip as Nip rose in power and rose in just being the overall person that he is. You know what I mean? Like, with that comes that COINTELPRO type of shit, the same shit they knocked down other instrumental black leaders and other leaders across the board for. We all know that shit. No lie about that. But here's Big U, and I get it. He's trying to clear his name with these interviews right here. To me, it's not a good look. I see in the comments everybody else feels the same motherfucking way. Not a good look. Calling Black Sam a lame, not a good look. Saying that they ain't your equals, not a good look. But you know, who am I but a motherfucker on YouTube making reactions, right? Who am I to say anything? Y'all let me know what y'all think down there in them comments. If you made it this far in the video, time and energy transfer, show me a little bit of love with a like, if you would be so kind, for you get out the door. And sub up if you ain't subbed up. You know, I keep these things coming. And I'm at y'all to the next one.
What's LA's favorite word?
Bitch. Oh, LA favorite word?
Yeah, what's LA's favorite word?
On the set.
On the
or
set?
on the dead homies.